Ladies and gentlemen, Magnus Carlsen has been crowned the champion of Norway Chess 2025, and one of his most brilliant games was in the first round, where he defeated the current world champion, Indian Grandmaster Dommaraju Gukesh. This is a masterclass you absolutely cannot miss, so open your eyes wide and get ready to enjoy the best chess in the world. Alright, without further ado, let's go to the game. Carlsen has the white pieces and Gukesh the black. The game begins with pawn to d4, knight f6, the Indian defense, knight c3, d5, bishop f4. White goes for the Rapport-Yobava system, also known as the Yobava-London system. This is a surprising choice, although Carlsen has played this move in a few online blitz and rapid games. c5, e3, bishop g4. An interesting move, attacking the queen. Bishop e2. The game quickly moves away from theory. Here f3 is the most common reply, when black has to play bishop d7 in order to control the knight jump to b5. The game remains complicated and with chances for both sides after d takes c5. Okay, let's get back to the game. As I said, bishop e2 was played by Carlsen. Gukesh bishop takes e2. Knight c takes e2. White's plan is to go c3 and then knight f3, knight c6, knight f3. Carlsen's opening was unassuming, and it's hard to imagine white having any advantage here. Of course, by now we all know that he is happy just having a game to play without so much theory. But even so, we have seen him playing more inspiring ideas to achieve this. e6, c3, bishop e7, knight g3. Here, castle kingside is also possible, but Carlsen isn't interested in castling. Alright, back to the game. As I mentioned, knight g3 was played by Carlsen. Gukesh castle kingside. Queen e2. h6, a useful move. Rook d1. Queen a5, forcing white to defend the a2 pawn and create weaknesses on the light squares. Pawn to a3. Rook fd8. h4. White has a solid position on the queen side, so he speculates with a plan with h5, knight e5, and maybe even rook h3, starting some action on the king side. Of course, this is a dreaming too high. Both with castling and with the move in the game, the assessment doesn't change. Comfortable equality for black. A quick note, don't forget to leave a like and a comment. That way, the algorithm will share these videos with more and more people. Thanks for your support. Okay, the game continues with queen a4, dominating the light squares and preparing queen c4. Knight e5. Knight takes e5. Bishop takes e5. Carlsen preserves a healthy pawn structure. Knight d7. Bishop f4. Queen a6, inviting a queen trade. Queen f3. In case of queen takes a6, then b takes a6, and the endgame is equal according to He Machine, although it looks more comfortable for black in a human game. Okay, back to the real game. As I said, queen f3 was played by Carlsen. Gukesh bishop d6, knight h5, bishop takes f4, queen takes f4. It's understandable that Carlsen wanted the knight on h5. e5, an interesting move. A bold and difficult move, very much in Gukesh's direct and calculating style. Queen g3, threatening mate on g7, but with this Carlsen decides to go for the endgame. Instead of this, d takes e5 is the critical move. Queen g6. g4, good move. Rook e8. Rook takes d5. Knight takes e5, excellent move. Castle kingside. The knight cannot be captured due to the check on b1. Knight takes g4. Knight g3. Knight f6. Rook takes c5, winning a pawn, and the position is more pleasant for white due to the more active pieces, but black can fight for equality and a draw. Still, this looks more problematic for the second player than white's choice. Let's return to the game. As I mentioned, queen g3 was played by Carlsen. Gukesh queen g6. Queen takes g6. F takes g6. Knight g3. E takes d4. C takes d4. c4. Knight e2. Good move, improving the knight. b5. Knight c3. Knight f6. Rook b1, excellent move. This is necessary in order to fight against Black's queenside expansion. Rook b8, f3. The only small hope White has to win the game is creating a passed pawn with e4, thanks to Black's doubled pawns on g6 and g7. Pawn to a5. Instead of this, b4 is worse. White remains with a better pawn structure after pawn takes b4. Rook takes b4 and king d2. Back to the game. Pawn to a5 was played by Gukesh. Carlsen b4. C takes b3. Rook takes b3. b4. Pawn takes b4. Rook takes b4. Note that pawn takes b4 is inaccurate because of knight a4, and this is dangerous for Black. Back to the game. As I said, rook takes b4 was played by Gukesh. Carlsen rook a3. Rook e8. King d2. Carlsen gives up the g-pawn, sharpening the game a little bit. Rook b2 check. King d3. Rook takes g2. Rook takes a5. Rook g3. Rook f1. g5. H takes g5. Rook takes g5. With these exchanges on the king side, Black has created a dangerous pass pawn on the h-file. The game continues with rook fa1. h5. Rook a8. Rook takes a8. Rook takes a8 check. King h7. e4. D takes e4 check. F takes e4. h4. e5. h3. Gukesh decides to embark on a forced drawing line, but perhaps it would be more practical to simply move the knight. The position remains equal, but without the need to find a forced move at the end of the variation. So, simpler was knight h5. Back to the game. As I mentioned, h3 was played by Gukesh. Carlsen e takes f6. h2. f7. Rook g3 check. King d2 h1 queen. Now look at the clocks. Gukesh is facing severe time trouble, so a collapse under these circumstances is quite understandable. f8 queen, and now an incredible move. Queen h6 check, but absolutely terrible. Essentially, the only mistake in this game, but sometimes one mistake is enough to lose. Here, rook g2 check leads to a draw, after king d3. Rook g3 check, king c2. Queen g2 check, with perpetual check. Anyway, I repeat the point. Black had serious time trouble, and that explains Gukesh's collapse. Let's get back to the game. As I mentioned, queen h6 check was played by Gukesh, a huge mistake. Carlsen king c2. Queen g6 check. King b2. Excellent move. In fact, this is the only winning move. In case of king b3, then queen b1 check and draw. Back to the game. As I said, king b2 was played by Carlsen. Gukesh queen b6 check. King a2. Rook g2 check. In any case, rook takes c3 doesn't work because of queen f5 check. Good move. g6. Queen f7 check. King h6 and queen f4 check, with a mating attack. Let's return to our game. Rook g2 check was played by Gukesh. Carlsen king a3. Queen b2 check. King a4. Queen takes c3. In case of queen a1 check, then king b4, and the checks are soon over. Let's get back to the game. Queen takes c3 was played by Black. Queen h8 check. King g6. Rook a6 check. King f5. Queen f8 check. King e4. Rook e6 check. And here Gukesh resigns. If king d3, White wins after queen f3 check, followed by queen takes g2. A spectacular hunt by Magnus Carlsen against Gukesh's king. Time trouble took its toll on the world champion, leading him to miss the most practical decisions and fall into a double-edged line that required surgical precision to survive. A precision we've seen he wasn't able to deliver. In the 6th round of the tournament, they faced each other again, and this time Gukesh defeated Carlsen. However, it was quite a messy game, as the Norwegian was clearly in control, but a single slip was enough for Gukesh to seize the opportunity and beat the world number 1. I hope you enjoyed the game and my analysis. Don't forget to support this video with a like, leave your comment, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.